this is the motorcycle shifter on the truck, and the first revision was this e-bike shift or e-bike throttle, and I really wanted this to work out, but because I actually had this stock shift knob there, so I could shift it and turn it like that for the throttle. But you can see this didn't like that the torque on it from shifting it. It broke almost instantly after I finished it. So the next version I used one of these throttles, and this way I can, this is mounted to the steel shaft, so I can bang on that as hard as I want and it works fine. So I'll show the relay board later, but it's in there, and there's basically a switch on the throttle that you lift out, pull up, and that turns the set of relays on. So that'll divert the ECU from reading the throttle, the potentiometer on the accelerator, to potentiometer on this, which is actually a Hall effect sensor, but I'll talk more about that later. And since it's a Hall effect sensor, it's a diode, so I think the minimum voltage out, instead of 0 to 5, it's 0.7 volts to 4.5 or something. So that means my idle's gonna be a little high. I put some resistor divider network and tried to get the idle down, but it's still too high to do clutchless shifts. But yeah, I'll fix that later. So let me start it up and show the idle. So that's normal idle. When I turn the switch on, you can hear the idle going up, which is actually nice. I might keep like another switch here, high idle, for winter time. Alright, we'll take it for a ride. Clutchless downshifts because I can do that without the high idle. There's fourth gear. Slow down a little bit and I'll put it in third. So I used to always drive the cars, and I would shift and match the throttle with the shifter and just kind of do this action because, you know, motorcycles and stuff like that. And my friends always would say, hey, you should do that one day, make a throttle like that. We kind of laughed about it, and then, you know, 15 years later, I'm building this e-bike, and I realized this was basically potentiometer. And then I realized that this throttle, I was looking at a schematic trying to fix something else. The throttle was a potentiometer, and I was thinking, well, I could do this pretty quickly. So, and it was pretty quick. It took, a couple hours to build the circuit. But then when this thing broke, then my truck sat for a while, and I made my reliable daily driver truck into unreliable. But so what you have here is the ECU, 3 wires, ground, power, and your wiper output. And then I basically have the pedal, which is the potentiometer coming off the pedal, and then the twist throttle. So the relays will just go switch between like that or that. And then 12 volts in, that's to power up the relays. There's a resistor divider there, which tries to tune my idle, although I still need to tune it. And then there is a TPS safety switch, and what the safety switch does, I think that is, yeah, this one here. So what the safety switch does, if you press this pedal, you hear that little clicking noise? So what that does is, if there's, say the ECU is reading 5 volts, but the safety switch isn't engaged, that means there's a failure on the potentiometer. So what that'll do is it'll just disregard that signal and know there's something wrong. I think it will give a check engine light. So you have to bypass that safety switch. So in this switch up here, I think it's a single double pole double throw, so that my TPS safety is being bypassed, and then it's also powering up this circuit. So that's basically how that works. Pretty simple circuit.